The next time you hear the sound of loose change in a pocket, remember this. Sometimes history hides in the smallest places. A simple $quarter, worth just 25 cents, can carry centuries of ambition, struggle, myth, and national pride. Today, we are uncovering the full story of one such coin, the 2000 Virginia State Quarter, often called the Liberty Quarter, a modern coin that quietly became one of the most talked about pieces in American numismatics. At the turn of the millennium, the United States Mint was in the middle of something unprecedented. In 1999, it launched the 50-State Quarters program, a project designed not just to change coin designs, but to reconnect Americans with their history. For the first time in generations, people began checking their pocket change with excitement. Children started albums. Parents saved rolls. Collectors, both new and old, paid close attention. And in June of the year 2000, Virginia took its place in this historic series. Virginia wasn't just another state in line. It was the birthplace of English America. Jamestown, founded in 1607, marked the first permanent English settlement in North America. When the U.S. Mint set out to design Virginia's quarter, the pressure was immense. How do you capture the beginning of a nation on a coin smaller than your thumb? The answer came in a design that was bold, symbolic, and deeply historical. On the front of the coin, the familiar portrait of George Washington appears, calm, steady, and resolute. Washington himself was a Virginian, making the obverse especially fitting. But it's the reverse that truly tells the story. 3 colonial figures stand in the foreground, dressed in early settlement clothing. They are not named. They are not specific individuals. Instead, they represent the settlers as a whole, men and women who crossed an unforgiving ocean in search of opportunity, freedom, and survival. Behind them, a sailing ship glides across the water, symbolizing arrival, exploration, and the uncertain future that awaited those early colonists. Below the figures is the name Virginia, along with the date 1788, the year Virginia ratified the United States Constitution, and the phrase, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Together, these elements tell a powerful story of beginnings, unity, and endurance. But almost as soon as the coin entered circulation, myths began to swirl. Some people believed the 3 figures were famous historical personalities, like John Smith or Pocahontas. Others claimed the design hid secret symbols or coded messages. Online forums buzzed with speculation, and stories spread rapidly. The truth, however, was far simpler. The U.S. Mint confirmed that the figures were intentionally generic. They were meant to represent every settler, not just the famous ones recorded in textbooks. There were no hidden messages, no secret societies, no coded imagery, just a respectful tribute to history. Still, myths have a way of fueling curiosity, and curiosity fuels collecting. The Virginia Quarter was minted in Philadelphia and Denver. Like most circulating U.S. coins of the era, millions were produced, but something interesting happened over time. While most of these quarters were spent, scratched, and worn down through everyday use, a smaller number survived in pristine condition. Collectors began noticing that high-grade examples, coins that never entered circulation and retained full mint luster, were becoming surprisingly hard to find. Condition, in coin collecting, is everything. A Virginia quarter pulled from pocket change is usually worth face value. But an uncirculated example, especially one professionally graded, is a completely different story. Coins graded MS65, MS66, or higher by services like PCGS or NGC command strong interest at auction. The difference between a lightly worn coin and a flawless one can mean the difference between 25 cents and over $100. Then there are error coins, the holy grail for many collectors. While the 2000 Virginia quarter is not famous for a single major error variety, genuine mint errors do exist. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and doubled dies occasionally appear, and when authenticated, these can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on severity and eye appeal. However, most stories of worth thousands Virginia quarters are exaggerated. Real value depends on certification, condition, and verified rarity. In recent years, Auction results have revealed just how much interest still surrounds this coin. High-grade examples in MS-66 regularly sell for tens of dollars, while MS-67 coins have crossed the $100 mark. In rare cases, exceptional specimens with outstanding luster and sharp strikes have sold for even more. These results may seem surprising for a modern coin, but they reflect a broader trend. The generation that grew up collecting state quarters is now older, more financially stable, and deeply nostalgic. Demand is rising, while the supply of top-grade coins remains limited. Beyond value, the Virginia quarter holds a special place in American culture. It represents the moment when coin collecting returned to the mainstream. It reminds us that history isn't locked away in museums, it circulates through our hands, our wallets, and our everyday lives. For some, it's a childhood memory. For others, it's a piece of national identity. For collectors, it's proof that even modern coins can become meaningful and valuable over time. If you're searching for one, the best places to look are often the simplest. Bank rolls, old collections, or even forgotten jars of change can still yield surprises. The key is knowing what to look for: strong luster, sharp details, minimal marks, and originality. And above all, never clean a coin. Cleaning destroys value instantly, no matter how shiny it looks. In the end, the 2000 Virginia State Quarter is more than metal. It's a story of beginnings, of a state, of a nation, and of a modern collecting movement that brought millions together. It proves that history doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers from the bottom of your pocket. So the next time you see that familiar design, the three settlers, the ship, the word Virginia, pause for a moment. You might be holding a simple quarter, or you might be holding a small but powerful piece of American history.